This is one of the scariest things I've seen in a long time. I'm definitely sleeping uneasy.
Love him or hate him, these are your brothers and sisters for the next few days.
The Suicide Squad has made its re-debut under director James Gunn, but unlike the first one, which isn't really coherent, this one tells a complete story from beginning to end. This is my spoiler-free review of the Suicide Squad, so I'll be sharing my completely spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. The Suicide Squad follows the same concept as 2016 Suicide Squad, where a group of villains and anti-heroes band together to save the world in order to reduce their prison sentence. But it's not really a sequel to that film. It has a couple of the same characters but doesn't really follow on from that story. There are a lot of things that this movie does right compared to the 2016 movie, but I don't want to spend this whole video just comparing it to that movie, and so I'm going to leave that comparison with this. I believe there is a reason that the 2021 movie has the word "the" in front of it, and that's because this is the one to see and the one that's more memorable for all the right reasons, obviously. This movie is so darn fun and entertaining. I think the essence of it and the strongest part of this movie is the comedy. The humour thread throughout this movie really carries it, and honestly it's the actors themselves who just look like they're having so much fun playing these roles.
We're all gonna die.
I hope so. Oh, for God's sake.
I see some people making small comparisons of this movie to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah, I do kind of see it. Both of them are directed by James Gunn, obviously, and they both follow like the similar storyline of a group of unlikely criminals banding together to save the world, and there's a lot of humour throughout. But that's where that comparison stops, because the Guardians is a 12A age rating and the Suicide Squad is a 15. And it really does earn that 15 age rating, and even seems like it's testing the boundaries at some point. This film is so bloody violent, no pun intended. There's action throughout this movie and there's so many big action scenes. There's even one within the first 10 minutes, and at times I felt like I was watching a Saw film with all like the blood and gore. There are so many brutal deaths in this. This is definitely one of DC's more mature films, and with all that blood literally like splattering on the screen, I found myself being uncomfortable at times. But then this is the Suicide Squad. They're going on missions that feel like suicide, so it is literally what it says on the tin. But on a lighter, more lively note, no pun intended, this movie is so lively and full of energy, and that's all down to the characters. All the characters in this are so fun and entertaining. The movie takes its time to give each character like a little backstory, a little character arc. All of them are so unique and memorable. I mean, they even got hold of a street shark. I never thought I'd see one of them again, but this one goes by the name King Shark, which is entirely CGI. Another lovable character just like Groot from the Guardian series. But there is one standout for me. Of course, Margot Robbie is great as ever as Harley Quinn. She was one of the biggest standouts in the first Suicide Squad. And yeah, Idris Elba as Bloodsport, of course he's going to be good.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronising.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Bloodsport.
But Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2, she is fantastic and I loved her. They even gave her like a fun little moment with like a hero line in the third act. And I haven't said this yet, but Peter Capaldi in the DCEU, I mean, what? The Doctor who didn't show up in Avengers Endgame or the Loki series because he was too busy feeding a starfish. And with that, I found Starro a more compelling villain than Enchantress, and that says a lot. There is a sort of twist towards the end, and I mean, you could see it coming if you thought about it, but I didn't because I'm just stupid. But maybe if they did set it up a little bit more with that character, it would have like meant a bit more and it would have hit a bit more. The cinematography for this movie is really nice and it just looks beautiful. I like DC movies that are really colourful and bright, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey to name a few. And I just have to say, I'm really glad I didn't watch the trailers for this movie, aside from the one that they show before a movie in the cinema, because those trailers literally give away everything and I would have found that so annoying. But luckily my ignorance made the viewing experience that much more better for me. Overall, I thought this was a great movie and I didn't really hate 2016 Suicide Squad that much. I still thought it was a cool movie, but this one, 2021's The Suicide Squad, is a great movie. It's a whole lot of fun, a lot of great action sequences, comedy and tension points with a few moments of emotion. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 and I definitely recommend go seeing it. Just be wary that this is one of DC's more violent movies. And that's my review of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. If you like this video, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you thought about this movie down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye!